Welcome to the Stat Guy Show, episode number 29. Joining me tonight is Miss Kayla Morton. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. First off, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Of course.
So what's going on? What do you got going on right now with preparations for the No Prep King season to start?
Man, right now I feel like we're in baseball preparation and not necessarily racing preparation. Cooper has been playing baseball a lot, and we've really just been enjoying watching him play. And yeah, his last game is this coming week, and then his tournaments the following weekend. Then we'll prep for No Prep Kings.
How old is he? What grade level is he in?
Cooper is 7 and he's in second grade. So he's still playing coach pitch ball. So they're not, hitting each other yet or striking out too much. So it's a lot of fun and their team's pretty good. So weather's nice and we've just been enjoying him playing while we can before our lives get flipped upside down in a couple weeks.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's talk about that. What is the status of the Mustang? Have you been testing yet? Is it ready to go?
Mustang is ready to go. We haven't tested. We are making very small changes from last year, so we feel pretty confident. Just a couple little things. Chase has been in Mexico with his mom, so he comes back out this weekend, and then we'll take a day, test all day long, make sure everything's ready to go in the next couple weeks, and then load up for Ohio.
Nice. With the new rules that came out this year, how did it affect your car and your program?
So the only thing that really is going to make a big difference with our program is that they took that big tire out, that 36-inch tire. So everybody has to be on a 34.5 or you get a deduction for the 33.5. And I think that's what we're going to test. Both sets of tires, see which one works out better. If it's even that big of a difference, if it's not that big of a difference, I'll take the 100 pounds or, deduction for the smaller tire. So yeah, that's the only thing we have to figure out.
Okay. And did you run the bigger blower last year, like the 144? Or did you run the 140?
Nope, I never ran the 144. I had the 140 on the whole time.
Okay.
We kind of knew this was coming, so we didn't want to get spoiled with that 144 and then have it ripped out from under us. So we felt like what we had was working and didn't want to change much.
Nice. What's your confidence level at coming into the season after such a great season last year?
I'm hoping we can just keep the steam rolling from last year, but you never know what's going on. And I know a lot of people have new builds, new combos, new cars. Nobody's going to come out slow. But I'm always confident in my team. I think I have the best crew around. I'll put Chase up against any tuner there is, and I'll put my dad up against any crew chief there is. So we're stacked and ready to go.
Nice. Hell yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Kayla, before we get into last season, I want to go back a couple seasons. So it's season 3 of No Prep Kings. You actually finished in the top 10, I believe, where you were at least 10th, I think, 10th or 11th. And then season 4, you only raced Team Attack. That's the only thing we saw you on is Team Attack. And I've never heard of the story, or what was the reason that you weren't full go invitational for season 4?
So I had started a new job that was pretty demanding at that time, and we just weren't prepared for the schedule and everything that came with it. Also, we were still running that big block Ford that anytime you would lean on it, it would bust a head gasket. It was dropping valves. It was so unreliable. So rather than just come out with an unreliable combo and chase our tails and finish in the bottom, we took that year to kind of get our shit together, gather what we needed to be successful for the coming seasons. And the reason I raced Team Attack is because when I was ready, they did not let me in the invitational. I had to start at the bottom, reprove myself pretty much. race Team Attack. And then at the beginning of the next year, they were like, okay, you can be back with the cool kids now.
Nice.
I had to, pay my punishment for sitting out, and they had to make sure I was still legitimate.
Yeah. No, I get it. Hey, you actually did pretty well at Team Attack that year. I think you made a final, I believe.
Yeah, a couple of finals, and I don't think a lot of people expected that, which was kind of our plan. And we just made the races we wanted to at the end of the year and had fun with it. And then as soon as they said, you can be in the Invitational, the following year we started getting pretty serious. So
Nice. And you have obviously raced in Team Attack and you did a couple of races in the Grade 8 last year. Which one did you enjoy more? Which one do you like more?
I like the Team Attack more personally. I feel like the Grade 8 each race, I don't know. I feel like it gives them such a significant advantage over the middle of the field,
Right.
that it kind of, I don't know, squashes the hope of people that are in like 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. It just widens the gap so much. Like if they would make it the top 8 from the previous race, I think that would be a lot better strategy. So you're just not giving the people that are in the top 5 the chance to keep accumulating points on top of those middle contenders. It would keep the
Right.
points a lot closer, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I agree with that for sure. I really enjoyed the Team Attack because they don't show the future class on TV. They don't show the Outlaw Big Tie or anything like that. So it gave you opportunity to learn about new people that might be coming into the Invitational and stuff like that. So when it went away, I was actually a little bummed out about it. But
yeah. Well, I'm sure on Fridays, I don't know the plan, but I'm sure on Fridays it's going to be some sort of a team deal with this team game coming up. And just kind of like you said, I'm really hoping that some of the drivers that have been putting in the work the last couple of years somehow get a chance to showcase what they're made of. That don't get much recognition or haven't got to race the Invitational. I'm hoping they'll let some fresh people come in and earn their spot, because there's a lot of people that have been on the show for the last 5 years that really haven't done shit. So it would be nice, to let somebody else have a try.
agreed. No, I'm with you 100%. I've had Nate Saylor on the show. I've had Manny Alvarez, people like that who are really fast, who are
Nate's
committed. I think
Yep.
those kind of guys deserve to be on the show. So
too.
let's talk about last year, No Prep King season 5. You had an amazing year. You were a stat guy. You won a stat guy award for most improved. How do you feel the season went overall?
Oh my God. The season was like a roller coaster. I was up, but never for a long time. And then the downs were just so far down. Like we had some really hard, rough moments in the last season that I'm hoping to avoid this coming season and just be more consistent all around. We struggled in the first part. I'm hoping when we come out this season, we can start off good and just stay consistently good. Like I had a couple crashes last year. The very first race out, we destroyed the motor, had to borrow Steven's car. Like I said, it was just so like this, but also, it made us work really hard for the last half of the season, because it was rough. It was rough there for a while.
Yeah. What do you think? So you did awesome. It was your best finish for sure of your No Prep Kings career. What things did you do differently last year that you think improved your program from, say, season 3?
Well, the first thing we did was put a Pro Line Hemi in it. That's going to be the number one big reason why we did so much better. And then the boys made me take out that Linko that I had where I got to, shift the gears myself.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
put automatic transmission in it from M&M. And as much as I hate driving it, I will say it is much more consistent. That, and then, man, we just kind of found a groove that worked for us. Same talks, same routines, everything looked the same every time. And, consistency builds all of it in every aspect of your life, even racing.
Right.
So just doing that towards the end of the season really helped a lot. And, being on the tree, getting the right draws, all that contributed to it. But definitely the biggest one was putting that Pro Line motor in it.
Yeah, that was definitely the big reason. So you won 2 races last year, 2 invitationals. Which one meant more to you? Was it the first one because it was your first one, or was it the second one, which kind of proved to everybody like, hey, this wasn't a fluke. Like I'm pretty fast.
No, 100%. The first one was by far the best. It was almost kind of like a dream, like it was unrealistic, but like it meant so much to us. I can't tell which arm I'm holding up. Like me and Dad went and got matching tattoos for our first win.
Nice.
Because I mean, gosh, we've been striving for it for like 5 years, right? And then all of a sudden it was there. And I remember Chase was like, you're going to win. It's not an option to lose. And going into the race, like I think I told myself that 10 times before I rolled in the second bulb. And then the second win in Alabama, it was just an execution process. We knew exactly how it felt to be there. We knew we deserved to be there. We had been consistently fast since we had put that Pro Line motor in and just getting faster every race. So yeah, it was just an execution process, a lot less nerve-wracking, a lot less pressure, which is weird because the races in Alabama were so much closer than Arizona, like in the final, like there was some serious space between me and Odom. And then the semifinal and the final with Ryan and Kai were both like, well, the Ryan thing was just nerve-wracking in general, but me and Kai were just neck and neck the whole time.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. So your
first one was the best one.
yeah. Your first. So the second half of the season was obviously when you won both those events. How did it feel like to end the season? You ended the season 7th in points, but how did it feel to know like during the second half of the season you were being talked about along the same lines as Ryan Martin and Kai Kelly and those guys, the top guys? Like, hey, Kayla's right there, just as fast as these guys are. How does that make you feel? Like you say, all right, like I've arrived. Like people have to respect me now. Like people have to line up against me, and they have to do a perfect run to beat me.
Yeah, I told Daddy at the very first of the year, we go over goals and what we want, and like a big thing of mine this year was like I want people to not want to draw me. Like I want them to reach in the bucket and hope that we don't have matching chips.
Right.
Like when you have that power over, your team or your drivers, that really says something. A, it boosts your confidence, and B, they're second guessing themselves the whole time. When they're picking tune-ups, when they're picking chips. Anytime somebody is second guessing themselves and not just doing their consistent routine, doesn't really end well most days.
That's for sure. That is for sure. Well, let's fast forward to this upcoming No Prep King season. Obviously, the big talk right now is the new format with the draft and teams and all that stuff. What are your thoughts about the new format going forward?
I think there's pros and cons. I don't think drag racing is a team sport. If you've ever talked to me, I've said that all along. But I do think that the show needs a shakeup, something different, fresh. And, it's their jobs to figure out if it's going to work, and they know more than I do. So if they think this team thing's going to work, then I'm all for it.
Right.
So yeah, but I'm anxious to see how it goes, just like everybody else.
Now, last year you guys had formed Team South. Now, we've seen a couple of people drop off already. with Cody and Adam and stuff. So with your other teammates like Sean and those guys, like have you guys talked about how you guys are most likely not going to be on a team this year?
We really haven't talked about it. I think it's just like me, Sean, and Brody
Mm-hmm.
left. And like I'm really thankful that I did well last year in the second half because um it doesn't ensure that I'm gonna get drafted in first, but I think I have a pretty good chance of, getting picked pretty early.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So as far as the Team South, I mean, those are definitely my boys. We're really close friends. But it is a good possibility we're not going to be on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how that all works out because especially with even the bigger teams, like the 405 and Cali and how that's all going to shake out because a lot of those guys just how it's going to work out. They're not going to be on the same team.
yeah, I mean, you're about to have I say that 405 captains between Dave and Lizzie, whoever one wins. If Dave wins, you have 405s immediately split up,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah, well, let's talk about that. So you're one of the captains or one of the 8 people trying to be a captain for the 8th spot. As far as the voting goes. But as we've seen, it looks like a 2-horse race between Lizzie and Dave.
Mm-hmm.
When you did you want to be a captain? Because I'll tell you, so I've seen, especially at first, a lot of the people and even the people who do social media a lot, you know what I'm saying, is like they were on it right away. Dave and Lizzie and Scott Taylor, they were like on it, posting about it. But I didn't see anything from you, Kayla, and I had wondered, well, maybe she doesn't want to be a captain, or maybe she's really busy and she doesn't have time to post 5 times a day about, hey, come vote for me.
It's a mixture of both, but I do put it on my story every day.
Yeah, on Instagram?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
But it was definitely not like something I was like, oh yeah, I definitely want to be a captain. Like it's just added pressure to be in that position. Um I don't know. I really think the only advantage to being the captain is that you're never going to get sent to the bullpen. But I have enough confidence in my program that I don't think that's going to
Right.
happen to us. And honestly, strategically, you have a lot of fast guys that are captains. If you have another fast person that's a captain, that's just less of a chance that you're going to get paired with somebody who's a really fast. Um, so like just saying, like if Ryan and I are both captains, there's no way that we can be on the same team. If Murder Nova
Right.
and I are both captains, there's nowhere we can be on the same team. If I'm not a captain, however, you could have 2 really heavy hitters
Mm-hmm.
on one team. And wouldn't that be a smarter choice if you're going for a big championship at the end?
Yep. Yep. No, I agree, Kayla. There's definitely some pros and cons to being a captain, I think.
That's my strategy. I would rather be on um, somebody's team that's really fast than have my own team of mediocre racers.
Yeah, agreed. Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting how it all pans out. Especially with the live draft on that Thursday night in Ohio.
Yes.
Um, is there a captain? So of the 7 captains that we know of, is there a captain or a couple captains that you get along with really good that you would like to be on their team? You would like them for them to draft you if
Yeah.
you don't pick a captain?
Yeah. There's definitely teams I would like to be on, and definitely teams and potential teams I would rather not be on.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. We could leave it just right there, too.
Yep.
Yeah, that's another interesting thing people don't think about, right? Is you're pretty much stuck with whoever you get drafted by too. Like I don't think, I mean, unless yeah. Anyway, we're not getting into that, but
It's
yeah.
it's just like the NFL draft. Like if you get picked, you can't refuse. It's the same thing, you know?
Right.
You can't refuse, or you just have the option not to race.
Right.
So
Yep.
be interested to see if there's some choices out of spite, um, or to just make somebody else angry. And I'll be interested to see if area codes are loyal to one another, or if they're going to be smart with their picks and choose with their head and not their heart.
Yes.
So
Agreed. I'm waiting for we're going to see when the floodgates open, because some captain might start off, if they have first pick, they might choose one of their actual teammates, right? But who's going to be the first guy to not choose their teammates and choose somebody else,
yeah,
right?
100%. It's literally going to be like second grade dodgeball up there.
It could be. There's going to be a lot of egos that are hurt that night.
100%.
So obviously there's a lot goes into like these captains and how they want to choose their team and stuff like that. I think at the end of the day, you want to choose, somebody you can rely on, somebody who's fast. How important do you think it is to be on a team with people who have the similar combination that you do? You think it's that important that will matter?
I think I don't think it matters too much. Now, I do think that there is an advantage if you're on a team that a few players use the same tuner.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's an advantage. As far as combos, if Sean's on my team or not on my team and he needs a pro charger, I'm going to give him one.
Yeah. Yep.
That's just having integrity. And that's just what we do as far as racers, So like I don't anticipate anybody being like, no, you're not on my team. I'm not sharing my trailer with you, type of thing. But I do, however, think if you're using the same tuner and willing to share data, that could be a significant advantage. Significant.
Yeah.
Especially if you use the same tuner and you're pro line powered. Those two together in a team would probably be pretty deadly.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. And you bring up a good point there as far as tuners go. I think that applies to race programs as well. It's going to be interesting if like Odom and Howe get split up, or Bodie and Bodie Jr. get split up. People who have the same race programs, same tuners, but they're on different teams. And what if it comes down to a teammate? They just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely
Jim Howe could be tuning John's car to beat Jim Howe's team in the final. You know what I mean?
100%. And I promise you, he's gonna pick Odom every time.
Right. So it's gonna be a lot of drama, a lot of entertainment this year for sure.
There'll be a lot of spilt tea, for sure. So.
Definitely. So obviously this whole year is going to be based on team stuff, but what kind of individual goals do you set for yourself this year, Kayla? What do you expect to do well in?
I would like to win 3.
Nice.
Just because it's a little better than last year. And of course, all of us have this big, pipe dream of winning the whole thing. So I guess my goal would be for my team to win the whole thing. And I would like to be in the top 5.
Nice.
Yeah, top 5, team win, consistency, and I would really love to have all 4 corners on that race car from beginning to end.
Yes, that'd be excellent.
Yes, so that would definitely be like a top 3 goal right there.
Yeah. I say your expectations, Kayla. I asked a lot of drivers I've had on the show that same kind of question, and your answer is definitely one of the more realistic goals, because you definitely could be you should be a top 5 car. You should win some events this year. So, that's one of the more realistic answers I've heard. So I can appreciate that for sure. I have a new portion of this show where I read off some stats. I just want to read out some stats to you that may or may not know. I usually have a couple of good ones, and then I have one that you might not want to know about. But I just want to get your reaction to them. So you are one of only 9 drivers, only 9 total all time in No Prep Kings, to win multiple events in a season. One of 9. That's pretty.
Very rare.
Yeah, it's pretty rare territory there.
Yes.
And then all time in No Prep Kings, which includes Grade A and Team Attack. You're 15th all time in round wins, and you're actually 9th all time in win percentage.
Nice.
Again, you are like legitimately top 10 all time.
Nice. Love it.
You didn't even race season 4.
Yeah.
And then I have a funny stat here, and I want to know, you probably know the answer, but if you had to guess, who has the worst record all time in No Prep Kings history?
Oh my God. Why would you do this to me?
I figured you might know because you might have actually had a little bit of a hand in this.
Are we talking like made all seasons?
Just the most no wins all time and the most losses with no wins.
Is it Monza?
No, you can stop guessing though. Stop guessing at that point. So the guy with the worst record all time in No Prep Kings, he's 0-6.
Okay.
And his name is Chris Hamilton. He happens to go by some people call him Boosters GT.
Yes, that's man, poor
And
thing.
you might have had a little part in that. I remember a lot of first round buys that he was.
That just proves that he will just do anything for me right there. So
what a guy, huh?
I'm really proud of that record for him.
Yeah, the worst ever.
I should have not guessed. You set me up for that.
I figured you might have knew the answer.
I did
the actual answer. I'm glad we stopped guessing though. So if you want, Kayla, for the people that are watching, if you guys got any questions for Kayla, she can see the chat box, I believe, to the right. She will look on there. Oh, see, look, some people knew already. They had some boosted GT.
Oh, here we go. Comments. I was on the wrong part.
While we're waiting for some questions, Kayla, do you want to take this time to shout out any of your partners or sponsors?
Yes. So I have a few of those. First, I want to shout out to 50 times 2. It's kind of a new thing, and I do own a percentage of the company. And we have an apparel line. We're going to try to make it really big. So if you guys want to go to 50 times 2 apparel.com and look at our stuff, they've stepped up a lot. Our t-shirt booths should be like really awesome this year because of them and my friend Rawlings. He's done a lot for me. Wiley Speed Shop is another one. Steve Wiley, total badass, fixed the last little that we had in Alabama for us over the last few weeks, and he's also on board for this coming season. Pro Charger is 100% behind me. I've been loyal to them since day one, and they will never say no to me, even though I get on their nerves sometimes. So that's a big one. Proline Power, obviously, billet atomizer, injectors, been faithful to them, and Jack has helped me out several times. M&M Transmissions, he has definitely made a difference in how that car performed, and hopefully we can carry it over to 23. And then, of course, my parents. They're the number one reason I get to do this.
Yes, talk about how important your dad is to your race program.
I always get emotional when we talked about him, so I'm going to try not to, but he is the backbone of it all. He holds everything together. He works the latest, drives the longest, sacrifices the most for me, and always has. Couldn't and wouldn't do it without him. If he said we're quitting tomorrow, we would just be done tomorrow. I couldn't imagine being on a racetrack without him standing behind me. So yeah, he's the peanut butter and jelly to it all.
Nice. That's awesome. That is awesome. We have a question here from Terry Leclue. It says, do you think you're at an advantage with your proven combo from last year over many who are changing things up this year?
Yeah, I do. I think until they figure it out, they're going to be on the struggle bus. And hopefully we just get consistently faster with each race. And we're way ahead by the time they figure it out. So.
Nice. Luis Chiprez wants to know if you're bulking up. So I follow your social media, Kayla, and you do a lot of is that, what do they call that?
CrossFit.
Yes, CrossFit. Yes. Do you now you're in there a lot. Do you do your own like class? Do you own a gym, something like that?
So I coach CrossFit. I also have a nutrition business. It's online nutrition. Shameless plug. If you're interested, send me a DM. But I do online trading and online nutrition with clients, and same thing applies. I'm just very consistent in my everyday life. My everyday looks the exact same. So yeah, I try to stay in shape doing that.
Nice. Over the years, have you developed any rivalries with any of the No Prep Kings guys?
I wouldn't
you guys
say,
you like kicking their ass?
I mean, I love kicking everybody's ass, but there's some that are a little sweeter than others, but I don't dislike anyone that we race with or, enjoy, whipping somebody any more than the other. Like the sweeter wins are always the ones that are so earned. For instance, like Kai and I's final in Alabama, that was a very sweet win because it was so close. And it's not only, the tuner and the race car that's relied upon. Like, it's a great feeling to know that you did your job as a driver and cut the light and stayed in the gas and all the things. And that's exactly what it took in order to win in Alabama. So anytime I win and I contributed to that, with cutting a good light or driving really well, it's a good W for me.
Nice. Sorry about that. I'm trying to delete this spam comment on here.
Oh, you're good.
Keep spamming. Braden Eglian would like to know, can your cars lose weight, or do you have to add weight for the car for this season?
No, so I should be lighter this coming season, which is really awesome because I don't really weigh that much. So I have a little bit of an advantage over those big boys in the cars. So hopefully with a smaller tire, which is the 33, we can be even lighter. Last year we had quite a lot of weight stacked in it, so I'm pretty excited to take that out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's B-Rad's kid. Yes.
Hey, I love B-Rad's kid. He's a great kid.
Daddy Dave wants everyone to vote for him. He wants Kayla on his team too. It's like,
is he in here commenting?
He is, yes. He's voting for Daddy Dave. That's what he keeps commenting.
Hey man, I love Dave. We've came a long way in the past 5 years, and I do think he would be a great captain, and I do think he's going to be very fast, and that is a team I wouldn't mind being on.
Nice. Kayla, do you generally just sell merchandise at the races, or do you have a website where people can buy merchandise right now?
Yeah, you can go to KaylaMorton.com and buy merchandise anytime. I have been kind of quiet about that because we have a whole new line coming out this season that 50x2 is providing and has a big hand in it. I'm really excited. Really fresh stuff, a lot of variety. I'm really excited about our apparel line this year.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. Can't wait for that to come out.
Gave me 3 hearts. Thanks, Dave. I can't even call him Daddy Dave. Like, can we just call him Dave? It's just
you definitely just call him Dave, yeah.
Yeah, like yeah.
Yes. Brad and I would like to know what your favorite part of a race weekend is and what your most hated part of a race weekend.
Oh my gosh. Favorite part of the race weekend is the end. And the worst part is the beginning where you draw your first chip. So it doesn't, you guys don't know me, but I am a ball of anxiety before any race starts. I'm bouncing off the walls. Mandy's in here. She knows I'm almost uncontrollable. My heart is racing. I'm worried. Hold on. Let me get this squeaky toy. Give me that, you little turd. Anyways, and so I'm always the most nervous before the first chip draw. Then after that, it just kind of turns into routine. Once the car started, I'm totally fine. Like you can watch my heart rate on my Apple Watch just like level out immediately. So yeah, the first part's the worst. The end where hopefully we're winning, is the best part. And I really enjoy like going in the bleachers if we go out early, sitting with the fans, signing autographs. And of course, I love the little girls the most. So,
Yes.
Yes.
They've released 13 of the 14 races this year. Is there any tracks that you love to race at? You can't wait to race at this year?
Is it bad that I would have to look at the schedule? I don't even know where we're going.
A lot of the same tracks as last year, I'd say.
Tulsa in the dead heat is something I can't wait for. Tulsa is my home. My parents don't have to travel, so it's a pretty easy weekend for them. I'm really familiar with that racetrack, and I love racing in the heat. So I do look forward to Tulsa a lot.
Yeah, and they haven't announced it yet, but it's looking like the last race will probably be down south, somewhere around there too.
I'm sure it'll be Ennis for the finale.
Yeah.
It always the same thing applies. Like I love racing at Ennis. It's very close to home, and it's Halloween weekend usually. So I like to see the little kids dress up, and Ennis is always a good time.
Yes, definitely. Well, Kayla, first off, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.
Yeah, of course.
No, you are extremely busy. It took us a little while to get this on here, but I'm glad we got to finally do this. So I wish you the best of luck this year. I'll be at the first race in Ohio. Be at the draft Thursday night to see if you're a captain or who you get drafted by. So I'm excited to see them.
Dodgeball pick goes on Thursday night.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'm not the last one left on the wall.
I'm sure. If I had to guess, I would guess you're going to be going in the first round.
We'll see.
Yeah. So best of luck. Thanks again for coming on, Kayla. And I will see you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.